Woo! The Nature Boy Ric Flair has signed a 2-year deal with All Elite Wrestling, and this has pissed a lot of people off. Wouldn't you know it? People on the internet are pissed. Weird how that happens. Our good old friend Ric Flair, 976 years old, still making his way down to the ring, still wheeling and dealing, jet flying, limousine riding, all of that stuff. Riding out the last few days of the Stinger till Stinger's retirement match. But this is not without controversy. In fact, some people are referring to Tony Khan as possibly being hypocritical, as he has been very outspoken as of late about Vince McMahon and all of his scandals, when just a couple years ago there was a big scandal for Ric Flair, which didn't exactly get cleared up. It just kind of went away and got forgotten about. Also, Ric Flair is another old, washed-up WWE guy, wrestling legend, being brought in to help TNA-ify AEW. For more on this hypocrisy and the inner workings of the Ric Flair to AEW situation, let's check in with our boy James as he's hanging out with Dutch Mantell on Storytime with Dutch Mantell.
That's Ric Flair signs with AEW. So I've got loads of information on it, but you tell me your initial reaction to Ric Flair getting signed to a 2-year deal.
Well, I'm thinking he was supposed to be there 2 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then that unfortunate episode of Dark Side of the Ring aired, which showed Flair, which showed the true Flair, really. And then Tony Khan apparently saw it and said, "Oh no, I can't bring him on if that's what happened." Now, after all this, nothing has changed except now he has signed Ric Flair, and he's coming this time with a sponsorship, I guess. I don't know, to pay his way. I don't know. But it kind of makes Tony Khan out to be a hypocrite if he's going to, on moral reasons, moral grounds. He went back on his initial reluctance to bring Ric Flair in, and all of a sudden brings him in because he needs help. His ratings are not that good.
Look, you bring Edge in. You bring in fucking Big Show's returning to the ring. You got Ric Flair now walking down to the ring. And Ric Flair's out there wanting to take his last fucking match. He said he's ready to do bumps. He said he is cleared to wrestle if he wanted to wrestle. Oh, but they won't let me. He's going to keep pushing for that. This is a problem. Ric Flair with AEW is a problem. He does not need to be there. Now, if you were going to bring him in for an appearance, a couple appearances, per show deals to do the angle with Sting, fine. It's Sting's last match. If you want to tell that story, if that was pitched by Sting, hey, it'd be cool to do something with Rick before I, hang it up. Or, this was just some sort of creative, brilliant idea. Fine. But then to sign Rick for 2 full years? 2 full years? Now, for those unawares, this is similar to the Macho Man's Slim Jim deal with WCW, in which the sponsorship is essentially paying for the wrestler to be there. In the case of the Macho Man Randy Savage, he brought the Slim Jim sponsorship with him, and that deal with WCW was enough to pay for the Macho Man to be there. And apparently Lanny Poffel on top of that too, with some to spare. So it was a good deal at the time. Now Ric Flair's energy drink, Woo Energy, is the official energy drink of the AEW. Woo! And And I don't know about all that. I think these kind of sponsorships are tacky. By the way, this episode is sponsored by G Fuel. G Fuel is the official sponsor of the Seth Grimes media. I'm just kidding. I wish I was sponsored by G Fuel. Used to be Bang. No, Monster owns Bang. Bang's still good, but they're expensive. This is a sidebar. Ric Flair going into AEW is just another thing that just makes AEW as a company look bad. It's another thing to make fans cringe. Now, there are Ric Flair fans out there. They're going to be those watching this video, and you're going to put in my comments, well, Ric Flair, AEW, AEW. Shut up. I know. I get it. Ric Flair is a star, was a star. He's got his fan base. I get it. I'm not oblivious to that, but it's bad for the perception of AEW at this point. For the things that they have been doing, the ex-WWE stars are starting to teeter into TNA territory, both with the fan attendance and the ratings, and now with all the big stars that they're bringing in that used to work somewhere else and now are past their prime. All of this is a huge problem. Again, for the one-off stories and stuff, the road to Sting's retirement as his official manager, maybe not, it's not, I don't know if it's going to draw anybody in, but I don't know that it's doing any damage. But to sign Ric Flair for 2 years, we don't even know that Ric Flair is going to be alive for 2 years. Or what other kind of scandals are going to come up for Ric Flair? Is he going to want to try to wrestle? Are they going to let him wrestle? Is he going to take some weird bump? Is he going to get busted open? Somebody's going to bloody Ric Flair up on. Mark my words. Circle this. Play it back. Somebody's going to bloody up Ric Flair because he's been cleared to take bumps and shit at least. So if he's the manager to Sting, somebody's going to try to get heat on Sting by bloodying up Ric Flair, and Sting's going to have to come to his rescue. You know what's going to happen. And if Tony doesn't approve it, Rick will gig himself because who cares? It's Tony. He's a mark. Right? I think Rick's going to give a shit if Tony told him, no, Rick, don't bleed out there. Whoops, it was an accident. What's that taped to your finger, Rick? Nothing. Woo! It's just a bad look. AEW is just going in the wrong direction every single which way that you look. Every single thing that they're trying to do, every single thing that they're doing different or trying to adjust or what they're bringing in, they've lost their way. What are they even doing with themselves right now? It's too much. It's too much. It's too much, man. I would have hoped that Edge would make a difference for them, and he hasn't, apparently. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Ric Flair's not going to be a difference maker. I get that it's not going to cost him money, but now you got to have Ric Flair on your TV for 2 years, and you got to have the Woo energy drink being marketed everywhere. Of all the energy drinks in the world, the fucking Woo energy drink, the mushroom one. You gonna drink mushrooms and shit? What the fuck are you... I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What did you think of the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, being signed to a 2-year deal with AEW? Is it a no-brainer because somebody else is essentially paying for it, and all you got to do is put a fucking can up on your announce desk and plug it once or twice a show? Or, for 2 years and you got Ric Flair? Or is it a really bad move because you already got enough old guys and you don't need an old pervy guy that's probably going to die on your roster? And not only that, the hypocrisy of Tony Khan, all the shots he took at Vince McMahon about being a creeper and all his allegations, when he knows goddamn well that Ric Flair has his own allegations in his past. And what seemingly, Ric Flair was going to be brought in 2 years ago, but was passed on because of those allegations. And now all of a sudden it appears it was just, we'll just let the smoke clear, the dust settle. Let's let things blow over. Let me know your thoughts down below. Hit subscribe, thumbs up if you liked it. Peace, love, and pizza. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next. Woo! Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.